Hi, my name is Jonathan Greene, and today I'm going to help you set up your Google Nest smart home device. What this is it's a speaker that allows your home to become a smart home. It allows you to command things in your house and tasks that you do using only your voice. So let's get started. So as you can see on the screen here, I'm showing the Google Nest Mini, which is what we're going to be working with today. This is the speaker, and for reference, this is a Post-it, so it's roughly a little bit larger than a Post-it note. Comes with a standard wall plug, which you plug into the side of the device right here. It also allows you to mount it to a wall using a nail or a screw, and it's only got one physical button on it. This button here allows the microphone to be shut off in case you don't want it to listen to what you're talking about during the day. You have the option to do so. And later on, once we turn it on, you'll see that there are a few lights in the center here, one on the side and one on the other side. And these actually act as buttons. You can touch them, and they will change the volume on either side and act as an activation button in the center. So before we get started, what you'll need to do is you'll need to download the Google Home app. If you have an Android phone, this comes pre-installed on your device. If you have an Apple device, you may need to download it. But without this app, you won't be able to set up your Google Nest Mini or any smart home device. So if you don't have it downloaded, now's a good time to pause the video and grab it quickly. Okay, now that you've got the Google Home app installed, let's step through setting it up step by step together. So on the left, I'm showing the Google Home again. On the right, I'm showing a mirror image of my phone. And the first step we'll do, plug in the device. And you'll immediately see what I was mentioning before. The center LEDs act as buttons. And as the device boots up, they light up to show you where to press. What you're not seeing now are the LEDs, the lights on either side, but those should come up a little bit later. And this should take just a minute to load up. The colors on the lights might change, and you may hear a sound.
Hi, to get started, download the Google Home app on a phone or tablet. The mic's off.
Oops. Turn that back on for setup.
The mic's back on.
Okay, so first we're going to go to our Google Home app. You'll notice on the top there's an option to set up Nest Mini right here. So we're going to use that option. It's going to ask which house you want to set this up for. This is so that it can give you relevant information such as the weather at your location. So you can select your house. And next we'll need to turn Bluetooth on in order for your phone to talk with the actual Nest Mini. And it looks like it found my Nest Mini. So yes, we would like to set it up. And you can see on the right the phone's working to set it up, while on the left the actual Nest Mini is changing colors. It means it's doing work. It's setting itself up. This may take just a moment. Okay. We're connected, and I did hear the sound, so I think we're good so far. Now the next few screens are going to be a handful of legal agreements, which I encourage you to read through if you're interested. But I've already read through them, so I am going to press agree for most of the agreements. I'm not going to try and explain them, but I will explain some of the screens that are not legal agreements, such as this one. So one of the things that Google asks is if you want to help to improve the Nest Mini by sharing some of your failure reports with Google, which is automatically uploaded. So this is a personal preference if you want to share that information. That's up to you. Next, it's asking where in the house is your device located. So depending on how you set up your home in Google Home, you may or may not have any rooms listed. So I have a few rooms listed here. You can see John's room, kitchen, and living room. But if you don't have any rooms set up, you may just have this create new field set up, in which you can select a new room and set your Google Home up in that room. So for me, I'm going to set it up in the kitchen. Pick your Wi-Fi network. And now it's going to connect your Google Nest Mini to the Wi-Fi. So before this, the Google Nest Mini was connected to our phones, but now the Google Nest Mini is going to be connected independently to the Wi-Fi. So in a sense, the Google Nest Mini is its own computer. It doesn't need another device to connect through to the internet. Well, it looks like it's all set up, or connected to the internet rather. This is another screen of additional legal policies, which again I won't explain, but feel free to read through them on your own time. Now the first time that you set up a device on your Google Home, you're going to need to set up your voice. That way the Google Home can recognize that you're speaking to it versus somebody else. So because I've already set up my voice on this device in the past, it's not going to run through the process, but I'll explain. The process is very simple. It will ask you to say a few key phrases and repeat them multiple times, and then it will basically learn your voice. So it's very simple, takes less than a minute. So go ahead and run through that if you haven't done that already. I'm going to press next. Feel free to pause the video if you need to do so. So you'll see here that the Google Voice has already been created. And here's another option here to allow audio to be saved. And Google uses this data in order to improve its algorithms. So again, this is personal choice if you want to allow them to save your voice audio or not. I'm going to say not now for now. Personal results with voice means if you set somebody else up to be able to use your Google Home, then they'll too have results that match their voice if you agree to this. So it can recognize multiple people in a household, and if somebody asks what's on my calendar for today, it can use this agreement to either determine who's speaking and then provide their specific calendar results. Or if you say no thanks, it may ask you who is speaking. So I will press agree for now. And next, they're going to ask if you want to link some services to your Google Home that you already subscribe to. And this is for use through your Google Home. It's something that you'll be able to do. You can play music through your Google Home and tell it to play certain songs using only your voice. So the first service that they ask if you want to connect is music service. You have a few choices. Spotify is a very popular one. Pandora is also a very popular one. I will link my Spotify account, and you can see it's already checked. I'll press next. You also have the option to link radio services if you have or if you desire. I'll press next. And finally, you have the option to link a video service as well, such as Netflix, Hulu, or other popular video services. And also live TV services. And finally, there is the last option to activate the TIM VOCE Smart Service with Google. I'm not going to go over that in this video, though. Okay, and at this point, we've completed the initial setup of the Google Home. All right, now that we've got our Google Nest Mini all set up and linked to our phone and connected to the Wi-Fi, let's run through some basic tasks that it can do. So at the bottom of the screen here, I've got the Google Nest Mini showing, so you can see when it lights up when we talk. Let's start with a very simple task. let's find out what the weather is outside. Hey Google, what's the weather outside?
Currently in East Patchogue, it's 32 degrees and clear. Today, it'll be mostly cloudy with a forecasted high of 35 and a low of 26. And tomorrow, it'll be rainy.
Not bad. So if I want to know the weather in a different location, it's very simple to do that as well. Hey Google, what's the temperature in Philadelphia right now?
The temperature in Philadelphia right now is 35 degrees.
It's as simple as asking a question. How about another application? Say you're in the kitchen and you're starting to cook a recipe and you've got your hands all full of yolk and all sorts of other food, and you can't set the timer for the oven. This is perfect use for Google Home. Hey Google, set a timer for 15 seconds.
All right, 15 seconds. Starting now.
Obviously 15 seconds is a little short for baking a cake, but in the essence of keeping this video in a format that you can watch in one sitting, I'll keep the timer short. But relatively soon we should hear the Google Home alert us that our food is done. And so you have two ways of shutting it off. You can either touch it, or you can say, okay Google, stop. And it's done. Another thing you can do is you can create lists. The most useful list you can create with the Google Home, in my opinion, is a shopping list. So you're done creating your cake and you're out of eggs. You need to remind yourself that you need some eggs the next time you go to the supermarket. Hey Google, add eggs to my shopping list.
All right, I added eggs.
It's that simple. So if you want to access the shopping list, you can either ask the Google Home, or you can go to shoppinglist.google.com and see your shopping list there. If you prefer to use a different list app, you can change that preference in the Google Home app. For instance, I use Google Keep. It makes it a little bit easier to keep all my notes together in one place, but that's your preference. Another thing that you can do using Google Home is you can create reminders. So if you have a busy week coming up, and like myself, sometimes you forget to do certain things, you need to be reminded to go grocery shopping. Hey Google, remind me to go grocery shopping tomorrow.
Okay, go grocery shopping. This will be for tomorrow. At what time?
5 p.m.
Okay, I'll remind you tomorrow at 5 p.m.
And you bet, at tomorrow at 5 p.m., Google will speak to me and tell me it's time to go food shopping. It's that simple. Finally, let's cover one more beginning feature. Let's have the Google Home play some music for us. Hey Google, play some music.
Playing some music on Spotify.
Now, here I'm going to show you how you can change the volume, either with your voice or with the buttons. Hey Google, change the volume to 2. You can hear it gets a lot quieter, or you can use the buttons on the side to adjust the volume. And it does get quite loud. And you can stop the music by either telling the home speaker to pause or stop, or by simply pressing the center. And you can also use your voice to tell it to do other things with the music, such as skip this song, or add this song to my liked playlist, or pause this song, or play the next song. Essentially anything you can do with the app, you can do with your voice. So let's pause here, and we'll pick up on some more advanced features next. Okay, next let's learn some more advanced features. So far we've covered some very basic commands, which you can do on your phone as well with maybe 1 or 2 button presses. But what makes a Google Nest Mini really powerful on any smart home device is it's able to intelligently answer some questions. So rather than asking it a simple question, let's ask it a little bit more of a difficult question. something that may require a Google search and then some searching of the search results and some interpretation of the results, which takes some time. Instead, I'm going to show you how Google Nest can do this very quickly. Hey Google, is it okay for dogs to eat onions?
On the website akc.org, they say, raw or cooked, fried or powdered, onions and the rest of the allium family are harmful to dogs.
Oh, good to know. No onions for my dog. So that's a task that takes some time most of the time for you to do some research and find the answer. But Google Home and Google Nest Mini allows you to do that very quickly. Here's another example. Hey Google, define the word onomatopoeia.
Onomatopoeia is used as a noun to mean the formation of a word from a sound associated with what is named, e.g. cuckoo, sizzle. Do you want to hear how onomatopoeia is spelled?
Yes.
Onomatopoeia is spelled O-N-O-M-A-T-O-P-O-E-I-A.
Okay, and I'll push the center button because I've got all the information I need from that one. Pretty cool. Here's a feature that a lot of people don't know about. At night, if you're sleeping and you enjoy falling asleep to white noise, Google Home is able to provide you some white noise sounds. Hey Google, play the sound of rain. Awfully peaceful. It's very nice to fall asleep to. Hey Google, stop. Great. And one more advanced feature. You're sitting around with your friends, or you're planning to go out with your friends, and you want to know where you can go to eat that's nearby. You have an idea of what you want. You want pizza. And instead of doing a Google search and sifting through results, let's ask, hey Google, where is the nearest pizzeria?
The address for Bona Fortuna 2 is 25 East Patchogue Yaphank Road, East Patchogue, New York, 11772.
And there you have it. You have a place to go for lunch now. So we'll pause here, and next we're going to cover some expert level features of Google Home. Okay, now we will cover one expert feature, two fun features, and one surprise feature at the end of this video. So let's start with the expert feature. Google Home is equipped with a number of games that you can play. It's best suited for 1 to 6 players and can be played with your voice only. It's a fun game, fun tool to use during parties, or if you're just hanging out around the house and a little bit bored. So let's get started. Hey Google, let's play a game.
All right, I have a few options for that. Puzzle of the day, are you feeling lucky? Escape the room, and more. Which one do you want to try?
Are you feeling lucky?
Welcome to Are You Feeling Lucky? It's 5 questions for up to 6 people. I give it a 10 out of 10. How many people do we have today?
1.
Party of 1. Step this way. I like giving people nicknames. Yours is Cabana. Question 1. The category is animals. For 10 points. Deer eat hay to line their stomachs through the winter. True or false?
True.
Solid choice. False. Ouch. Deer won't eat hay unless there's no other food around. Moving swiftly along. The category is Google search. For 10 points. Which sweet treat gets more searches? Donut, cookie, or cupcake?
Cupcake.
Much obliged. Cookie.
Oof.
Too bad. Oreos are the most popular cookie in the world. On to the next one.
Okay, Google.
The
Stop.
Farewell for now.
We don't need to know how bad I am at trivia. Anyway, this is a fun game. You can play with multiple people and you are scored against each other. So it becomes a very fun competition. You definitely explore it further if you have some time. Okay, let's cover two additional fun features. The first, I'm going to go ahead and demonstrate right now. Hey Google, tell me a joke.
Why won't the shrimp share its treasure? Because it's shellfish.
Yes, Google will tell you jokes and it has a number of jokes that aren't repeated. So feel free to use that one whenever you need a laugh or a groan, whichever you think is appropriate for those jokes. And finally, let's do one more fun feature. Hey Google, tell me a fun fact.
I read on teenvogue.com that Black Wall Street was a wealthy business community in Tulsa during the early 1900s that stretched 36 blocks, with more than 600 black businesses.
Wow, didn't know that. Very interesting. So you can see there's a lot of different features that you can use and talk to the Google Home, and you can really have conversations at times with the Google Home. If you think it could be a feature, I encourage you to try it. So give it a shot. And I'm going to leave you with one more feature, and it's a tie-in to another topic that I may cover at a later date. Using your Google Home to control other devices in your house that are smart devices. And I'll give you a small preview of what you can do with the Google Home. Watch carefully. Hey Google, turn off the lights.
Got it. Turning off 4 lights.
So I hope to see you next time, and I hope you enjoyed. Thanks.